Batman. Welcome to Arkham Asylum. I've taken over it. Ha 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 ha.
You the Joker?
Yeah,
That was a bad Joker impression.
yeah.
But I'm
That's
gonna
okay.
leave it. I'm gonna leave it in anyway,
Yeah.
and then you'll be forever on the internet,
That was my
immortalized
that
as
was my intro to the podcast. I thought that was really good.
the idea was
I
good.
tried really hard. That was really I've been practicing that.
Wasted time, I might say.
Yeah. Oh, maybe.
Doesn't have time to watch
I
the
guess.
Penguin, but has time to poorly practice a Joker voice.
Um, he was he was all over this thing that we've played that we're going to talk about, wasn't he? That guy.
You would hope so, because that otherwise that intro would make no sense.
Yeah.
It would be
Yeah.
really
Tell me
bad
about
if
it.
it was the one game he didn't feature in. As in the one Arkham game. He doesn't feature in all games of all time, just, Arkham ones specifically.
Conventional intro, real quick.
Mm.
Welcome back, everybody. This is the Cloven Hoof podcast. This is the episode where we talk about Arkham Asylum,
Which you'd know because you clicked on it.
which you'd know because you clicked on it. But normally we give a little bit of a more. I feel like we just rushed things today. I'm sorry if you're feeling flustered, if you don't know where you are. Let's just bring it all right back down. Just calm it all down. Calm
Yeah, we
everyone back
we
down.
took the
Calm.
microphone back off the Joker.
Yeah, he's gone now. I've locked him outside. And just everybody, welcome back. And thanks for tuning back in on this
Yeah, do you know something?
fine Sunday.
It feels like a very long time since we did an episode, but actually there's an episode out for you guys at a normal schedule. It's just been a
Yeah.
longer time since recording them. And we have a correction to make, actually, sort of. I have a correction to make regarding Suicide Squad. We talked about Arkham Origins maybe 5 weeks ago now or
Was it that
something.
long?
I think since the episode came out. I think,
Wow.
yeah, because maybe not quite. Anyway, it doesn't matter. A long time ago, and we spoke about the post-credit scene. Well, not the post-credit scene, but like you know the final scene in which Amanda Waller goes to see Deathstroke, and we said this is
Yes.
stupid because it leads nowhere. And what were they
Yes.
doing, and why was it a worst end credit scene of all time? Well, literally, if like a couple of weeks after that, they announced that Deathstroke would be the final character added to Suicide Squad. So like we're wrong. He's now in it. It does lead somewhere. Whoops.
That I mean
Um,
that is tenuous.
Not well. Yeah. I mean, it's not. They weren't following on directly from the post credit scene because it makes kind of no sense because he came in
Yeah.
at the end of it, not the start. But sorry, Rocksteady. You did actually put Deathstroke in the Suicide Squad game, and your post credit scene kind of now makes sense.
Well done.
Well done.
Thanks for listening to us.
Anyway, we've been playing Arkham Asylum. This is that before the Joker comes back in the room.
What did you think about this game?
I thought I've played this before, but
Was that was that
that's
your
what I
first
thought.
thought?
Yeah, it was. I think it's a brilliant game, and I get that it's not. It's sort of it's missing bits that Origins had, but that makes sense because Origins came out 4 years later. So I think it's brilliant. But I want to know what you thought of it, and I want to know what happens in it. I want to know what the story is. I want you to tell me, as if I've not played it twice, what happened.
Okay, let me tell you all about what happened. Batman was is Bruce Wayne, whose parents died. They were killed by, in some universes, maybe, or in one universe, particularly, a follower of Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. But I don't think that's in this one.
No, because Joaquin
So,
Phoenix isn't the Joker in this one, so that would be weird.
yep. So his parents just died of
Killed
natural
by Joe
causes in an
Chill.
alleyway. They both had heart attacks at the same time in an alleyway,
That's not
but
true.
he saw a gun nearby, so he thought that must have done it. And then he said, "I'll never use a gun or kill because of my parents died."
Because they were
Anyway,
shot. They didn't have heart attacks. That's a lie that he made up
this
just now.
led him to find the Joker, who he beat up. Actually, sorry, can I just ask you a little
Mm,
bit about the continuity between the last game and this game?
yes,
Because I've been meaning to ask you about it because it doesn't, I just, it just, like, it doesn't make sense
it
because
does.
I thought that they were set immediately after each
No,
other.
they are not.
Right.
There's a fair while between. There's probably a canonical, actual, definitive amount of years in between, but there's a while, and that's like
Because,
kind of implied
but he's talking about the breakout at the prison
at Blackgate.
at Blackgate that took place just now, and they're
Yeah,
all the inmates are talking about that as if that just happened.
yeah, because like the one thing about Batman and Gotham is that the prisons are always getting broken out of and rioted
Okay.
in because otherwise he wouldn't have a job because
Nuke the place.
they would just go to Blackgate and or Arkham and stay there and then he would not be Batman anymore. He would just be man
Yeah, true,
because he
true.
wouldn't have a job, you
He'd
know,
have to start dealing with like low level criminals and
or like actual important things.
yeah, true.
Not,
Um,
you know, a man who likes to scare people and a man who likes to be a clown.
yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
let me get back to the
Yeah,
story.
yeah,
Sorry.
do carry on.
Joker has been locked up in Arkham Asylum, which is some kind of like, as far as I can tell, like just some of the like like the venue of some of the worst medical and psychiatrical malpractice I have ever borne witness to in any form.
Yes. Yep.
Um, absolutely horrific place. No wonder they're all trying to break out and kill everyone. I would too. And he's just riling up and winding up a band of goons to break out of Arkham Asylum. Batman's gonna stop him. How's he gonna do it? Punching, kicking, throwing a batarang. Who else is there? Harley Quinn. She's helping out. She's helping Joker. She's gonna, I don't know what she's gonna do. She's
She's
gonna
gonna wear
try and
some
beat you up.
real short skirts and
Yeah,
not much else.
she's gonna maybe at one point knock you out with a baseball bat, and then the cutscene is like first person Batman looking at her pants, looking up her skirt. It's
When
kind
does
of
that happen?
it's like quite early on in
Sorry,
the
I should
game.
remember that. For listener context, I started the game, went on holiday, came back, finished the game. There's a big
Yeah,
continuity gap for me in which Batman was in Amsterdam,
I've been
and
slowly and steadily plugging away at it
yeah,
since for the last couple of weeks.
because I
So
started it before you and like finished it after you, so there's a real memory gap here.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's
Mm.
okay because that's why I'm here to fill you in. Batman, yeah. So he upskirts Harley Quinn a couple times. He gets wailed on by a bunch of dudes. The Scarecrow's there, and I want to talk about him
And
because
Bane
oh
is
my
there,
God,
and
Bane
Killer
is
Croc is
there.
there.
Killer Croc is there. Poison Ivy's there.
Victor
She,
Zsasz is there briefly.
yeah, whoever the hell he is.
He's a
Um,
serial killer, but he's more in the
who the
second
hell
game.
isn't? Who the fuck isn't in
But
this universe?
well, that's true. But I like a guy who's just a serial killer and doesn't try and mask that. Like he's not masking it with some gimmick. He's just killing.
Yeah, okay,
Like
fair enough.
he's not putting a silly costume on. He's just murdering with no top on,
Yeah, that's true.
and
That's
that's
fair.
his deal.
That's fair enough. Who else is good there? Gordon.
Commissioner
He's
Gordon's
there.
there.
He's there. He's
Batgirl
doing
is
a
there,
terrible job of helping
but
out.
she's not Batgirl yet. She's Oracle.
Oh, oh yeah. Where's Alfred?
That I was
Dead?
just about to say. There's a massive lack of Alfred actually in this
There's
game,
no
but that
Alfred.
makes sense, and I'm fine with that because he's Batman is on an island for probably the span of about a day. In fact, one night. He's on the island for
Yeah,
one night, and Oracle is helping him give Alfred a bloody break. Let him have a
yeah.
night off. Do you know what? You were so mean to him several years ago in Origins, Bruce Wayne. Give him his first night off since then, probably.
Well, as far as I was concerned, that was all last night.
Yeah,
I
no,
thought
it
that was
wasn't.
when this was all taking place.
Did it not occur to you that the Joker's clearly aged and is wearing different clothes and Batman's in a completely different suit and Bane looks different and Killer Croc looks massively different
Nope.
and like this is not just artistic choices like the like it's you know just
Nope.
continuity they've all just aged. You didn't think about that.
Not
You didn't think, damn, these guys were or weren't in Blackgate a day ago, and now they are all like fully bedded in and locked up in Arkham Asylum as if they've been there for a while.
Nope.
Did you not think that the Riddler has placed all these trophies around Gotham and then
The
gone
Riddler
and done
who's
it in
got the
Arkham?
Riddler who's got like direct comms link to Batman at all times, and every single time he finds one of his trophies, he goes, "Oh, that was an easy one. You're shit." Like, then hide them better. If every single one was an easy one, he's like so bitter about the fact that
Well,
he
you
finds them
clearly
all
just
so
didn't get the
easily.
hard ones.
Oh God,
If
yeah.
you did,
Like,
if you did, they wouldn't be hard.
does he ever acknowledge that one's hard?
I'll be real, I've never collected all of the Riddler trophies, so I don't know. But I do like that they're Riddler trophies in this and not data packs.
Yeah.
Even if data packs makes more sense than him just like spending a lot of money on custom neon question marks.
Weird, stupid trophies to just
Yeah.
litter around an insane asylum.
Anyway,
Um,
to round it up, Joker's in prison, but not for long. He's going to escape and he wants to start production on Titan, which is like
oh yeah,
Bane
forgot about that
formula
whole bit.
basically, but like except not you're not just Bane, you're also a monster and Batman can ride you around and he wants to flood Gotham with it. And can Batman stop him? You know he can, because otherwise there wouldn't be two more games after this
No,
because
because he'd be
they would
dead.
just they would just do it in one and they'd kill him. Um yeah, what do you think?
Um, I thought, I thought it was pretty damn good. You know what? I enjoyed it. I enjoyed most of it. There were a few bits I said just now about Scarecrow. I just
Which
want
you're
to get
wrong
that.
about.
I want to get that over and done with because I don't want to talk about it again because it made me so angry. Um, like I like the first encounter with Scarecrow, right, where you walk into the morgue and like
Mm,
and like it's like that is quite scary. Suddenly it
yeah,
feels a little bit like a slight horror game kind of. It's like,
they're all
oh
very good.
shit.
I thought. I thought they were really well done in that aspect.
It's just until the platforming, and I don't know. I feel like maybe I've mentioned it on the podcast before, very briefly, and I've definitely spoken to you about it.
Mm,
Are you familiar with? I'm gonna have to look up the date, the year. I want to say 2013, but that might be wrong. 2011. Are you familiar with 2011's Tintin, The Secrets of the Unicorn tie-in game?
I am familiar with it from you.
But I played it on the Wii, but it felt suddenly like that. The platforming bits where you're crawling around the big and it like looks the same and
Yeah,
it handles the same, like
but
so and it just like so
can I
bad.
raise a
It's
point?
like
I got
yeah.
a lot to say about these, but I got a point to make. When we played Origins, you criticized the boss fights and you criticized them for being boring and repetitive. Now, because of Scarecrow and Killer Croc and others, you cannot level that criticism at this game because there is no way that any of those fights are alike in any way.
No. No.
And it's
No.
2009 and platform games were a big thing.
Yeah, that's fine. And I'm not gonna for a second try and say that that Scarecrow fight or the continual weird random Scarecrow fights are like worse.
Possibly the best part of the game, full stop, is there's a Scarecrow. I believe it's the third encounter you have with him. I think. Don't. I mean, you can correct us if we're wrong. I don't care. But where the game freezes and restarts, but you're the
Yeah,
Joker.
that
That
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah, yeah,
brilliant.
yeah,
And at
yeah.
the time, especially when like that is a crazy move to pull. Like that's
It's yeah.
so good. Now it's like a remaster, and you know that that's not happening with the game because PS4s and 5s don't just throw wobblers like that. But that whole
Oh, no,
like
no, no.
third wall
You
break.
you die, don't you? And it pulls you
Yeah,
like
so you
and
die and you die in the Scarecrow thing, and it says use there's a retry screen as normal and it says use the middle stick to dodge Scarecrow's bullets, and that's like the first thing of like what the hell, like a middle stick is not a thing.
yeah, I
And
didn't
then the
clock
game
that.
and then it restarts the game with subtle differences and then big difference of you're the Joker.
Yeah,
And I thought that was brilliant. I forgot that that was a thing and I thought that was excellent.
yeah.
I won't hear criticisms of the Scarecrow bit. I think they're brilliant. I think they're clunky, but it's 2009, and like
I
obviously,
think the bit that just really that is just it was the because the like sequences in themselves, like the bit where you where you're going through Arkham Asylum as it's like the replay of the intro, right?
Yeah.
But as the Joker. That's great. That's cool. Loved that. Um, the bit in the morgue, the bit with the where like it's coming because like the camera starts to like tilt and goes all weird and like all of that's great. I died so many times and it
I've got a
felt
note
so
that says,
inconsistent when he sees you and when he doesn't and like what you can get away with. It just those bits were just like they drove me mad.
but also that's kind of like the point of the character. I
Yeah,
mean, that is his whole deal. He's not like a physical threat. He's just irritating. And like
yeah.
I've got a note that I thought was quite funny at the time because I wrote this game is really easy, and then the scarecrow section came on, and I counted how many times I died, and I died 16 times in that one section after having died 3 times up to that point. I think that the boss fights in this, or they're not even necessarily fights, a lot of them, but the boss encounters
Hmm.
are brilliant. Really good for the time and compared to Origins, because I didn't mind them in Origins. There's a little bit of variation, but like you said last time, it is most of them in Origins boil down to just punching a lot.
Yeah.
Whereas I suppose the big two that I would sort of put forward to show how different they are is Killer Croc, which is
Yeah.
a little bit of a stealth. I mean, it's very faux stealth because it's not really stealth. I actually
Yeah.
tried this out, and it doesn't matter if you stay quiet or loud; he'll get you anyway.
Yeah.
That's good.
The thing I felt about the Killer Croc one was that I wish it was a little bit harder.
So do
Um,
I, but then also like you're again, like I said last time, you're Batman. Like
yeah,
it's
true.
kind of meant to be easy for him.
Yeah.
I wish there was. I suppose it's limitations of the age of the game. I wish there was a few more mechanics for these things, which there
Hmm.
are as you go forward through the series. There's a significant leap
There
between.
was loads of stuff that I felt like I was missing from the last game.
Yes,
From which because obviously it's a newer game, but they're like particularly in like the way you know what? Actually, no. The combat felt so much better.
the combat is better, but there are a
It's
couple of bits of
simpler.
it that I liked. I really liked in Origins where you can like properly mash square and punch them loads after you've cape swished them. And you
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
do
yeah,
that in
yeah,
this.
yeah,
Yeah, and Scarecrow, I really liked those encounters because even though they're a little bit clunky and annoying, they are clever. There's a lot of thought into them, and I like the platforming. I think that's fun, and I really like the design of it all. I enjoyed when you play as Bruce Wayne as a kid, and you've got to go. That's how they showed his
yeah, yeah,
origin.
yeah.
I enjoyed, like you said, the morgue scene was good.
Hmm.
And yeah, that game breaking restart is brilliant. But I thought bosses were a strong point
Uh-huh.
in Asylum, and yeah, probably a step back in Origins. It's a bit weird playing them out of order in a way, but
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know. And I thought some of them were quite funny. I really liked Victor Zsasz at the start and Harley Quinn later on in the game, where it is just like as it would be, like with the Electrocutioner in Origins.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
a punch,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Um, I also I can't to be honest, I also I found the final boss fight with the Joker. I found that a bit underwhelming as well.
Yeah, but then
Because you have also because right before that, right, you have that fight where there's a bunch of little guys and the two big
yeah, the
uh
Titan.
Titan
Yeah,
guys. And that's like that was felt like really challenging, whereas like culmination of like, okay, there's a bunch of different things going on here. This like the stuff the combat mechanics that you've learned and practiced
yeah,
over the course of the game, and you've got to implement them all now, right?
yeah.
And then you have that Joker fight where he's huge. He's got massive fingernails. Like he looks like he's gonna like rip you to pieces. And then you just have to run in a circle, beat up some guys, pull him down with your grappling hook, punch him once or twice, and
Oh,
then he just
you
jumps
should
up.
sort of add for people who haven't played it that the Joker is not just huge normally with massive fingernails.
Oh
There's
yeah, okay. He
context
beats
to that.
himself up with the Titan
Mm.
drug that he's been developing. Um, and he doesn't become like you think you'd want end of a Batman game, like the Joker, he gives himself the super serum. You've seen what the lower down version of it did to Bane, right?
Yeah.
Like he gives himself the one that's meant to be like his super weapon that he's going to use to kill everybody. And he's just like it's just like he doesn't even I don't know,
He's
like
kind of the
how
easiest of the Titan
yeah,
people to
he's like
fight.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
like easier than just like a regular inmate
But
with
then
like a little bit of it in him.
I think that, yeah, I mean, maybe I'm making reasons where there aren't, but I think that's something that's just historically always a bit funny is that the Joker is this like, is Batman's ultimate foe, but actually when they face off, he's dealt with the easiest of anyone.
Yeah.
Like that's like in Origins, it's the same as like Joker's caused all these problems throughout the whole story, and you get hold of him and you just beat him to a pulp, and that's like it. And then
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna spoil City, but same case again, really.
Yeah.
Maybe that's something to it. Is it's kind of meant to be Batman is always gonna best him, but yeah, it is a bit underwhelming to be honest. I
Yeah.
thought that the Poison Ivy fight feels more like a final
Yeah,
fight in
but
a
you
way.
know what? The Poison Ivy fight, I made a note. Um, Poison Ivy fight is like it's like quintessential gaming.
Yeah,
It's like so gaming.
yeah.
It reminded me of like a Mario boss fight or something like that. Like big weird thing. I don't know, like shooting stuff
Dodging it
down
across
from
the screen and things like
yeah,
that.
like
Yeah,
moving left to right, like it's shooting stuff up from the ground, and you've got to like fight like mini guys.
that's something I really like about Asylum, though, is that it's from 2009 and it feels like that. It feels like it's from before games took themselves too seriously.
Hmm.
And I think that's something you said, I mean, about costuming, about how Harley Quinn, like, you could not get away with that today, and that's true.
Yeah.
But that's also part
But
of it.
not,
Is
and
this
that's
is
not in a kind of,
we're not
oh, you
criticizing it for
couldn't do
being
that,
woke.
couldn't do that
Like,
these days, you
you
couldn't do
rightly
that, couldn't have
couldn't.
any fun these days. It's like, yeah, like it's insane.
Yeah, it is. It's like you
Um,
can Google it if you've not played Arkham Asylum, and there'll be videos as well. But
and Poison Ivy's just like wearing literally a
yeah,
jacket and
but
nothing
you know what? That's
else.
really
It's
bizarre. Is
insane.
that character design doesn't change through the whole series, even when the rest of them get more sort of modern. But yeah, I really like about Asylum is that it doesn't take itself seriously, and it knows it's a video game and it's a comic book video game in 2009 at that. And all of the game design feels that way. I really like an example of it is the really stylized menus and the really sort of stylized
Hmm.
character bios and things like that, where they're
Yeah.
hand drawn, like you know, like art of
The
the
all that stuff.
characters.
Also, actually, funny, another Wii game throwback. All the menus reminded me of Need for Speed Nitro.
So yeah,
Um,
it's the same time, probably the same year actually. Now that you say that,
yeah,
that's a brilliant game. But yeah, it is. And I think all the boss fights and everything, all the design, character design to a degree, art design really benefits from it just being a video game and not
yeah.
trying to be. By the time you get to Arkham Knight, it's really like this broody Batman. It's a really good looking game. Well, the remaster anyway
Hmm.
is a really
Yeah,
well done
I was playing
remaster.
the Return to Arkham.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, just quick side note.
Yeah.
Need for Speed Nitro is 2009 as well.
I know my video games.
Perfect. Well done.
This is like a thing that I often think is 99% of my brain is taken up with like just stupid things like that I know like all of these things. But if you put useful stuff in there, I'd probably be running the country. Like, but it's filled with useless crap.
I also want to add to that just about it not taking itself too seriously and things like
Mm.
that. I loved Mash X to throw lunatic.
Yeah, that
It's
whole thing is brilliant. All of that
it's
stuff.
like so silly.
Yeah, it is, and it's
And
brilliant for that.
because in Origins, there's you have the mash X or mash square or whatever it is to shock Alfred to defibrillate Alfred,
Yeah.
which was also funny. But again, it's different. It's not. It's like that's like I suppose yeah. It's like
Origins
feels
really
re
takes
like it's
itself
meant to be a real
seriously.
serious moment where you're like,
Yeah.
oh my God, like you gotta use like you gotta bring Alfred back to life with the electrocutioner gloves and like it's like that's
Yeah.
supposed to be a moment that's like fucking badass, but mash X to throw lunatic is so dumb and so
Origins, I
dumb.
think the thing that's so refreshing about this is Origins takes its stuff really seriously and is a very 2013 like it's the same year as Man of Steel. Like it's the same year as Zack
Yeah.
Snyder started doing DC. Well, he did Watchmen in 2009. Again, I know all these years, but this is before that. This is before all these things started taking themselves seriously like that, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I like the comic booky color grading as well. It makes it a lot easier to
Yeah.
see everything you're doing.
Hmm.
I like that Batman is has gone from wearing a really sort of like really expensive high grade looking suit to spandex again.
Yeah.
I love this game. I don't. The thing is, I was expecting to have like really structured. Let's talk about this thing, and this thing. But this is one of those games where I can't do that because I just love it. Like I've got no serious critiques. I got lots of notes, but most of them are along the lines of I love it. Like it's just a brilliant game, and it's rightly so. Sort of like the thing that everyone compares these things to. Everyone holds it to Arkham Combat. Like the whole standard is Arkham Combat, or
Hmm.
you know,
It's really interesting watch like playing through these games for the first time and seeing and being like, okay, right, that's it. That makes sense.
yeah.
Um, because and just especially like this game, Asylum, the it's so smooth and it just feels like it's so well done and there's but like it's so smooth and it feels so easy, especially once you've been playing it for like a while.
Yeah, note I've
But
got is feels less clunky than Origins, even if it is
yeah,
slightly less evolved, which is
yeah,
obvious because it's older. But
yeah.
yeah, it does.
It's just like simplistic and really, really well done and really well implemented, I think.
I
Um,
I like playing them chronologically, even if it does make that feel a bit weirder.
yeah.
I did like that. Obviously, it made no sense for you because you thought they were like a day apart. But for me, I liked playing them chronologically, even though it did feel a bit weird when I'm like, oh yeah, I can just get out the glue grenade or I could just use the electrocutioner gloves. And I'm like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, no, I can't. Also, Batman gets gadgets a couple of times for the first time throughout this series. Like he's like got the line launcher and then he doesn't have it at first by the time you come to
I
Origin.
I've got a note about the fact that the bat plane flies in to drop you off a line launcher and fucks off,
Just
and it's
through the
like, where the hell has that
conservatory.
been the whole time? Like,
I know,
what the
yeah.
fuck? Like, that could have been so useful in so many ops like
Obviously, it's
moments.
it's remote controlled, but I like to think that Alfred is personally flying it. Just sat there in his suit, crashing it
Hovering
through a
over.
conservatory. Um, there's a lot of really funny. There's a bit where you have to rescue a doctor from a room that's kind of a room in the middle of another room, and you
Yeah,
paint your little explosive bats on the walls
yeah,
and like blow them up with the three goons inside. And
yeah.
it's like a slow-mo explosion and there's chunks of concrete everywhere and every single one of those goons and the Doctor and probably Batman would have been absolutely obliterated by flying concrete and murdered. And
Yeah,
it's so funny that it slows down to show you it as well because it's just like, oh my
yeah.
God.
I was upset about the level design of the Scarecrow bits.
Hmm.
Um, but I also just there are some points because I really like in a game that's got these like platforming elements and stuff like that because there are quite a few platforming elements with like having to climb up and whatever with your back claw and such.
Mm.
Um, and I like when those platforming elements seem to make sense within the
Hmm.
world, right?
Yeah.
And so, and a lot of the time they do in this, almost all the time. But there's a few points where you're trying to get from A to B, particularly when you're going through like the sewers and stuff like that. When you think like all of a sudden you're in like, you know when poison ivy's plants start destroying everything and you have to
Yeah.
go through the that weird bit of sewer where you can't use your grappling hook because
Yeah.
it's
Which
too
I really
crumbly.
like that, even though it's really annoying to go through. I like that as a
But what is that place? Who like there's a couple of other bits as well. It's like whoever designed Arkham. Asylum, like designed the infrastructure of it, designed the like the sewer system, needs to be locked up there themselves
Oh yeah.
immediately.
I mean, yeah,
It's
it's
ridiculous. And that there were like a few bits where that pissed me off a bit because it was just like this is just dumb and weird. Um,
yeah, it is, but then I mean, it is and it isn't. It is a stupid layout in that specific section, but then also like that's kind of just that's how they have to do it. Like you can't like video games have to do stupid things to give you a challenge, otherwise it
yeah,
would
no,
be
no, no, I
walking
get
through
it.
hallway simulator.
I'm not to say that that's not to say that like I found the whole thing like that, but there are a few moments that I found when I suppose I don't know
It's
I don't
better than
remember what my
Origins. It is better
oh
than
it's way
Origins.
fucking
I
better
get
than
you.
Origins, no,
Yeah.
absolutely. Um, and there's so much I found in Origins. There's so much of just like crawling through vents that's like, why the hell is this here? What is this?
Oh, I did.
Like this
There
is
were some
dumb.
really funny events actually where there's a section of the game where you said about mashing X to get rid of the lunatics,
To throw a
and
lunatic.
but there's a specific part of the game where lunatics start like trying to like jump scare you and all of that, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they drop out of vents and they climb out of grates and things like that. And I thought, oh, I'm gonna climb up into the vent that this lunatic can. I wonder if it leads anywhere. Maybe it's a Riddler trophy or whatever. And it is like a sort of like 6 foot long like vent with no fans, no openings, nothing. It's literally just like it's just a cubby hole basically, and the only plausible reason I
For a
can think of it,
lunatic.
yeah, that's the only plausible reason I can think of it being there for is like they kind of thought, oh, but what if someone does a prison break? They're gonna need somewhere to hide from us, and put that in there. There you go.
Whack one of those in for a lunatic.
Yeah.
Chuck a
Um,
lunatic in there. Speaking of Prison
there's a lot of
Break,
that. Yes. Speaking of Prison Break,
I'm on season 2 now.
nice. Yeah, this is unprecedented, I think. I don't think we've ever carried across any normal podcast talk into an extra episode, but
When the
that's
time
really good.
comes, when the time comes, Prison Break episode.
Oh, there'll be a
I'm
Prison Break
I'm gonna
episode.
do I'm gonna make sure we have a full month of Prison
I've
Break episodes.
I've yeah, level design is a lot better, and that is helped by, like I said, the color grading is it's a lot easier to see where you're going and what you're doing because it's not afraid to use color. Like in Origins, like
Yeah.
you get into a room and Batman's like, "Oh, I really need to get to this place," and you're like, "Oh,
Where?
well, yeah, this is
What?
all grey and it's got grey vents and grey grates and grey windows and grey doors, and I can't see what's what and where's where because there's no light and like
Yeah.
everything looks the same." Whereas in this, like grates are nicely like lit up with like orange lights that are in them, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like there's a lot of classic tells in video games, but they make sense in,
This is like green arrows spray painted all over the floor in a lot of places, which is
I
just
never
like
noticed that, but that is nice.
really.
No, I never noticed that.
There's one there's like when you're going to the morgue to fight for the first scarecrow encounter
Hmm.
there's like green
I got
arrows
lost
spray
in the
painted on the
morgue,
floor
which is really
and there's
embarrassing because it's
in
it's a
the one
small
room.
room. Because I was playing it from memory and I thought, oh, I remember that another thing happens in this room, so I'm like looking around for a place to go. I'm looking around for it, and then I realized I have to leave the morgue and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
uh,
Try and you have to try and leave and then it doesn't let you leave.
yeah, so I was like playing it from memory, thinking there was something I was missing.
Yeah.
It's probably my downfall in these games as I'm playing them, having played them before. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember what happens next, but I don't remember how you get to that point. And so I'm
Yeah,
trying to
yeah,
like
yeah.
reverse engineer it and actually overthinking it.
I actually meant to, although you're not going to remember either because it was
Might do.
before you went on holiday, but you know, at the start of the game,
I do.
because I checked my phone for a second, and then the Joker had escaped,
Yeah, no, I've got a note
and
on that. Is that the
I
Joker
don't
just
know how he did it.
no, he just escapes like ridiculously easily. Like he
Yeah,
just escapes and that's
because
it. And there's no
I've got a
like
note that
yeah.
says, "How is it that easy for Joker to escape and gain full control of the security systems after a shoot to kill order was allowed like 5 minutes ago while he was still locked
Yeah,
up?"
no, that happens in like literally like 10 seconds of screen time and he escapes and he's suddenly got the prison. And I that's the one criticism I have of this game is that the start of it is so rushed. And not like
Yeah,
rushed as in like they didn't like lazily write it. It's just like quick, we got to get to the point where the Joker's escaped. Like they don't
yeah.
give
There's no
you
build up
time on
at
that.
all.
But equally, I really like that once this game starts, it doesn't stop. There's no breathing room, and I like that's something I liked about Origins when it focuses on a smaller area such as Arkham Asylum. There is no breathing room. There's no time to have to glide across the city really slowly while Batman
Yeah, yeah,
talks to
yeah, yeah,
Alfred.
yeah.
Like it moves at a zip. But yeah, that is stupid. And there's a lot of poorly thought out prison and sort of just like prison things. Like Harley Quinn is locked when Batman defeats her, he locks her in a cell that the bars are so far apart that she could just slide out if she wanted to. Like she could like they're horizontal bars rather than vertical bars, but if she wanted to like do a pull up on one and just slide herself through it,
Yeah.
like she could. And that makes no sense for a prison
No.
at all. Obviously, that doesn't make sense. And I like that Killer Croc is just in a sewer, and what's more is Killer Croc is strong enough to burst through the gates in that sewer,
Yeah.
right? And then the door opens from the inside. So the gates don't stop him from doing anything because he can burst through them, and Batman then just opens the door with a handle from the inside. There's no lock he's got, there's no like cryptographic sequence of puzzle you have to do. He just opens it and walks out.
Is it just that Killer Croc's too big to get through the door
Well, I
frame?
was thinking that, but the fact he can burst through the gates makes me think he could probably burst
Yeah.
through the wall too,
Yeah.
if he
Maybe he
wanted
just
to.
doesn't want to. He just likes it
That's
down
that's
there.
that was why I had the caveat if he wanted to,
Yeah,
because he's
yeah,
got it
yeah.
made for him there. He's in water, he gets fed every day.
Yeah.
Sweet.
It's quite a nice gig,
It's
really.
quite a nice gig, and I also really like about Killer Croc is that he's just a man with a skin disease.
And really big muscles.
They completely lose sight of that in these games. Is that Killer Croc and in a lot of media now, Killer Croc is just a man with a skin disease that makes him look like a crocodile, and that's it.
Is
And
that's all
now
he is in the Suicide Squad movie, isn't it?
it is, yeah. Except they kind of like again they kind of forget that, and they have him just like eating like whole goats and things like that, like raw whole goats. And I like the idea that like, okay, he looks like a crocodile, so people are just like, as people tend to, they're being mean and they're treating him like a crocodile, but like, don't comply with it then. Don't eat the whole raw goat, you know? But yeah. Oh, you've frozen. But yeah,
Yeah, fight back, man.
yeah, just like live your life like a normal guy. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's a brilliant
We get
game,
some
as I said.
foundation.
I mean, what else is there to talk about? It's a great game. We've talked about the story. Boss fights are brilliant. Combat is brilliant. The stealth, that's something I wanted to talk about. The stealth isn't very good.
Yeah.
It's fun because, but the AI in it, as is completely fair in 2009, is so dumb, like so
Yeah.
dumb, to the point where there's a bit where you have to lower, I don't know if you remember, you have to lower three guards down in these like bird
Yeah, yeah,
cages
yeah,
they're
yeah,
stuck
yeah,
in,
yeah.
and there's a bit you kind of have to like because you have to take out the guy operating it first because if you take anyone else out, Joker gets notified and
Yeah.
they kill them. So to take the operator out first, and you're supposed to like sneak round the outside of it and go up from underneath and do that. But I found out that the guys can only see you if you're literally directly in front of them. So I was actually just like walking at exactly the same pace but next to them to get round it. I found it a lot easier to do that. Like
Yeah.
literally walking hand in hand with them at the exact same speed because they cannot detect anything that isn't literally right in front of them.
To
Um,
be fair, I found it really strangely inconsistent what they could and couldn't see.
it is, yeah,
Um,
that's true.
like sometimes you'd be crawling along, because normally if you're like crawling along a ledge below where one of them is standing,
Hmm.
even though your hands are like poking over the side, they can't see you. Um, and then sometimes they like just will.
Yeah.
Um, and sometimes you can like run right in front of a guy and he won't see you. Sometimes you can be standing really far away from him and he'll
Snipers are
turn
the
around and
worst
aim his
part.
gun at you.
A sniper can see you even
Yeah,
if
the
their
snipers
laser is
fucking
nowhere near
infuriate
you.
me.
But
Yeah.
it's harder because they're so dumb. It's harder because I'm used to like Arkham Knight is the one I played most recently, and you can because they're so clever, you can use that against them in that you can bait them out with certain things, and you can like they can detect sound, so you can make sounds in one place and go to another and all that. But in this one, they can't detect anything other than you right in front of them. So like you
Well,
can't
there's
lure
the
them.
Sonic batarang that you
That's
can
true, there
use.
is, but that has a
But even
cooldown.
that didn't work half the time.
I found it worked every time, but I just couldn't use it very much.
Mm.
And in Arkham Knight, you can throw just a batarang at the wall and they'll hear that and they'll go and investigate it. So you need
Yeah.
a whole different thing in this. And, but yeah, it's
Batarangs
2009.
seemed way more powerful in this game than they were in Origins as
I
well.
felt the opposite.
Oh,
And when you level them up and you get
yeah,
the combo batarang,
yeah.
that does. But in Origins, I did it when I was talking to you, actually. I specifically made a point of taking two guys down only with batarangs, and I don't think you can do that in Asylum. I don't think
Uh,
you can just stand there and lob batarangs at them till they die. You can in Origins.
Not until okay. You can knock a guy down with a batarang
You
in
can, but
the.
only when you're undetected. If you're in a fight, you can't.
Oh,
Whereas in Origins, you can. If you just chuck a couple at a guy, he'll like fall down.
yeah,
And also, like they're like it's like throwing polystyrene at people in a way because they're metal, they're sharp, like they would stab into you,
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
they're just like bouncing off and hitting the floor, and they're just like unbothered. Um, yeah, they are more powerful to a certain degree. When you get the combo one, for example, like that, you can take people out with. Um, yeah, I think that mostly covers it. It's a great game. It's I mean this isn't news to anyone. Nobody's going to listen to this and going, "Oh, really?" Like Arkham
What?
Asylum, yeah, it's a famously brilliant game, but
Yeah.
still not the best in the series. Scarecrow in this blatantly dead because Killer Croc eats him, you would think, but is the villain of Arkham Knight, and they forget that. Not that that is a criticism of Asylum. This game has the same downfall as Origins in that Batman should just be killing. And I know that
Yeah.
he's like, I know it's his whole thing. I know, but
I think it at this point is the morally correct thing for him to
yes.
do is
And
to just start killing some of these guys.
there's a point where you're in the same room as the Joker in the botanical gardens. You're separated by water. Just throw a batarang into his skull. Kill him there. Like
Yeah.
like he's about to do worse things, and instead Batman's like, "Oh, there's water between us." Throw a sharp batarang directly into the middle of his eyes, so it just kills him there. And then he
Yeah.
doesn't do that. Batman doesn't do that, and Joker kills a man right in front of him, and literally says to him that he's going to go and kill more. And Batman's like, "Huh."
Oh no.
Yeah.
Ah.
Kill people. Just do it. Do it, Batman.
Yeah.
And every character in Batman knows that it's stupid as well. And that's what's like crazy to me is that it's not even like a sort of like a writer oversight because every character in the game comments on it and is like, you
Yeah.
should be killing these people. And Batman's like, no, I won't. You are, and I mean, the game also makes this point, is you are as mental as them. You dress up as a bat and
Yeah.
then don't kill them. All you do is prolong it. You beat them
Yeah.
up for a little bit and then let them go about killing.
Yeah.
Like you're doing this for fun. You're not actually helping anybody. This is a hobby for you.
Yeah.
And also, like, they wouldn't be doing it if you didn't exist. They do it for the Joker does it for the love of the game. He does it because he loves Batman. He wants to fight Batman. If Batman killed himself, the Joker would stop.
Hmm.
Anyway,
Because
that's
there'd be
whatever.
nothing else for him to do. No
That's
one.
not a fair criticism about Asylum because that is every Batman thing.
Yeah.
Stupid character in a way. I like that he wears his pants on the outside of his suit in this one. I think that's
It's
really funny.
great.
I think it's really funny. I like that, and I just, it's a really weird thing because if you said, yeah, he wears his pants on the outside of his suit, you'd think that looks stupid, but weirdly it works. And that's something about all the Batman suits is I think it's really funny, especially this one because it's just like a tight leather suit, and he's like got like pants on the outside, and yet he still looks cool.
Yeah. I loved
How?
the I loved using the line launcher. I loved shooting
The
ropes
line launch is brilliant.
all over the place.
Makes the game infinitely easier as well. Like that
Yeah.
section where you're talking about the sewers where it's like crumbling and you can't use the grappling hook. You can use the line launcher though, so that's
Yeah.
good. I like that he has his the back claw, but in this one you can fire three hooks off and pull walls down.
Yeah, that's nice.
You can't do that in any other games, which is really weird. He just decides he's
Weird.
not doing that anymore. Um,
Didn't like that.
I
Didn't like how
also
that
like
worked out.
he writes the Batmobile off with absolutely no hesitation to take Bane out.
Yep.
And again, You would think it would kill him,
Yeah,
but it doesn't.
didn't.
No. But yeah, I just think it's really funny that he's got this like obviously multi-million-dollar car and he's just like
Yeah,
that's going
whatever.
in the water.
Put that in the soup.
Um yeah, it's great. It packs a lot of things in, but gives everything a lot of space to work as well, which is nice. Like there's a lot of villains in this, but everyone has space to work. There's a lot of combat mechanics, but none of them feel like just like tacked on little extras. Like they all work nicely. The map is great, if
Yeah,
a little bit confusing.
yeah, I found that.
But the actual map that you use is a lot easier than Origins.
Yeah,
I
that's
found it a
true.
lot easier to find my way around with the actual map. Origins
I
is
did
just
eventually
like
once I worked out how the map worked and like looked.
yeah, so you
Yeah.
so you press the button to open it up and there's a drawing of the place you're at and then an arrow showing you where you are and you can follow that arrow.
Well, look, you know what I mean.
No, yeah,
There's
it's
yeah.
yeah. Well, I
It
no, to be honest, yes, because the first time I played it, I couldn't work it out, and this time I played it, and I thought this is a really good and easy map to follow,
yeah.
and I can suddenly use it now, and I never could before.
You know what, actually? Oh, I something that I miss from modern gaming, which is
Mm,
a real staple of modern gaming.
mm.
Bloody mini map. Give me a bloody mini map.
Yeah,
What's that?
they
Why
never
is there
get a
no
mini
mini
map.
map?
It does get easier in maybe it's in city. It's definitely a night. You do get a compass at the top, like to follow like north, east, west, south,
Hmm.
which is quite nice. Don't have that yet. But also, I do like not having a mini map in a way because, like, I like when a character. There's a lot of this in the game where a character goes, "The Joker's in the ICU," and you're like, and then you have to actually pull up your map and find out where that building is. It doesn't
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
it doesn't just like show you on a mini map, like follow the cross. Like you actually have to look for it,
Yeah,
which is really cool. Um, yeah, it's I think the final thing that I have to say that I really like is it's like absolutely, as are all the Arkham, is filled to the brim with like references and characters like from the comics. It's not like it's not kind of ashamed of that. Like a lot of games are. Like Spider-Man was brilliant, and that's I say that because that's like an Arkham clone. It's
hmm,
brilliant, but like everyone that's in it is in the story, whereas in this one there's like lots of characters that you can find like there's like Calendar Man and there's a point where Clayface is in it like
hmm.
pretending to be Commissioner Gordon like there's a lot of little references that you can
That's who
find.
that was. That's what that was.
Yes, this is I actually meant
Um.
to say that because you asked me on an episode who
Oh,
Clayface is and they've
yes.
do you know what actually relevant
Hmm.
to that because you asked that in the Penguin episode they have announced that the writer of the Penguin has now moved on to writing a Clayface film,
Huh.
which will presumably be a bit of a murder mystery
Yeah.
thriller.
A right classic who done it.
A classic who done it, except everyone done it, but it's not everyone. It's one
It's
person who
just
done
one
it,
guy
but
who looks
pretending to
like
be
everyone
everyone,
else.
like the imposter in Among Us when they have that ability. Anyway, um, I got nothing else to say about this game because it is absolutely the most basic of them.
Yeah.
But it's also brilliant. That's not a bad thing. It's just a 2009 game, but there's not like reams of stuff to talk about. It's quite a small game, small map, you know,
Yeah.
tight story. I don't hugely like the Titan stuff this early on in the game. I like as in the series. I don't feel like
Hmm.
making the Joker a massive monster in the first game is like
Yeah, that also weird.
a
I
weird
thought.
decision. But again, 2009 like big monsters and
And he just returns to normal.
yeah, but it does have knock-on effects into City.
Right.
That's not done. Like that's not a done thing. But
Okay.
and I suppose knock-on effects into Night in a way, kind of. I don't want to spoil it
Man
for you.
bat.
Man, that is in Arkham Knight. Is this
Eh.
our new is this our new Goblin tier list? Does it have Man Bat?
It could be.
If it has
Could
Man
definitely
Bat
be.
in, grade C
S tier.
automatically. Do you have anything else?
I
You
wish there was more man bat.
aside from Man Bat, Dr. Kirk Langstrom, as his name is.
Uh, you know what? I wrote, if I have to do another Scarecrow sequence in the next game, I might not play it. And so I was so relieved to see him get absolutely murked by Killer
Just
Croc.
you wait till Scarecrow is the
Um,
main villain of Arkham Knight.
no,
No,
no.
but you know what's weird,
Oh
right?
my God,
Actually,
I've changed my mind.
I'm gonna semi-spoil it in a way. It's not a spoiler at all, but Scarecrow is the main villain of Arkham Knight, but there's no sequences
Oh,
like that in it, which is weird.
how
When
does he?
you,
I thought, how does he get out?
well, that's what I'm saying. I said that a minute ago. Is he's definitely dead, right? Except he's not, and they don't acknowledge that. He's just not. He's definitely died, and they've forgotten, and they've brought him back because he didn't die on screen. Like he died, like it's implied that he died.
Yeah, yeah,
And the
yeah, yeah,
rule
yeah,
of thumb
yeah.
is that if you don't literally see their dead body, they're not dead. And even if you do see their dead body, they're also probably not dead. Yeah, I mean, it's great. There's nothing really more to say. I've got a lot more to say about City because I am going to play a few more of the side missions and things. Oh, that's the other thing, actually. There's no side missions in this game. It is just
I was
like,
wondering if that was the
no, yeah,
case.
it's
It's
just
just you just
straight
finish it.
linear story, which I miss in a way from games. Not many have
Yeah.
it now. What I can say is we will be playing City next
Time.
next time, yeah, after the Christmas special.
And Merry Christmas to all. You know what? We should have done Origins as part of the Christmas special.
Yeah, we did say Merry Christmas at the end of Origins. Maybe you're feeling really festive right now because you're listening to this on Christmas week, and you really want something festive to listen to or
Holidays
watch.
week. Winter
Holidays week.
holidays week.
Yeah, okay, maybe.
Non-denominational holiday
Yeah,
week.
we've gone woke. Maybe you're listening. Not that that's a bad thing. That's a joke. Uh, maybe you're feeling really festive, but not necessarily Christmas festive. You're feeling
Ho ho
any
ho.
kind of
I'm
festive
Father Holiday.
you want.
I'm Father non-denominational holiday.
And if you are feeling that, listen to Arkham Origins episode and play it. It's a good game, kind of in a way. Listen to the podcast and listen to what we think. Um,
Thanks for listening.
yeah, thank you for listening. Tell someone that you listened to it. Tell someone that you liked it. Tell someone that you like them. Be nice to someone this
Be
week.
nice
That's
to a friend.
our thing. If you could follow it, that would be great. If you could rate it, that would be great. We've got all of our contact information and pages in the description of the episode, which apparently, according
Home
to Alfie,
addresses.
no, we don't have home addresses. According to Alfie, nobody reads them. So I'm telling you to read them now. Our
Read
email is in
it.
it, and our Twitter is in it, and
Read
our
it
YouTube is in
now.
it. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much. And we will see you for our Christmas special, which
So long.
which is not a non-denominational holiday special. It is
Farewell.
specifically a Christmas special.